Alright, everybody, welcome back to our latest severe weather coverage live stream here. Today we are covering a triple threat for severe weather once again. It feels like during the summertime we, have multiple marginal risks almost every single day. And right now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Detroit, Michigan. Alright, this is for the greater northern suburbs of Detroit. This includes Warren and Sterling Heights. Right now we have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts approaching Interstate 94 near St. Clair Shores. If you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning, make sure to move indoors immediately. This is for southeastern Oakland and southern Macomb counties in southeast Michigan. At 4:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Royal Oak or near Warren, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Impact: hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This severe thunderstorm will be near Warren, Sterling Heights, and Clinton around 4:10, St. Clair Shores at around 4:20, and Mount Clemens at around 4:30. In the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you've got a live look at this storm as it rolls into town. This camera's facing the wrong direction, but you get the gist. Soon we're going to see some very heavy rain on that camera as it is in the path of this severe thunderstorm here. So we'll continue to watch things as they progress with that storm, but that's not the only storm we have to watch. That's the only one that we have that's severe right now, but we do have ourselves actually some decently strong storms up into portions of eastern Iowa, where we could even see a brief tornado or two today. If we take a look at the velocities, we do see that we have some more broad spots of rotation out here. This special weather statement specifies that funnel clouds and possibly weak brief tornadoes, half-inch hail, and minor flooding could be associated with these storms. Impact: isolated damage to roofs, siding, and trees is possible. Minor damage to outdoor objects is possible. Slowing or redirecting of traffic due to ponding or flowing water. Closure of waterfront access due to flooding. By the way, on our Detroit cam, they did just go ahead and turn that around. So we are now looking into a severe thunderstorm near Detroit, Michigan. So we'll keep an eye out on that, right? I think we're going to see several more severe storms today. We've already had several severe storms today, and back here at the Weather House, we've actually got some storms rolling in here in eastern Illinois, so we'll kind of watch those as they progress. But again, we have a triple marginal threat for severe weather today. One of them is located down into portions of the desert southwest. It's monsoon season. That's not a huge surprise. One of them is located across portions of the mid-Atlantic area. That area just sees a ton of storms during summer, so that's not a huge surprise either. The only one that, doesn't see storms every day, right? This area up here in the Midwest, all right? Now, we are still having some cleanup issues after the derecho ripped through recently in this region, so if you got storms during the derecho, however long ago that was, like a week ago or whatever, you are going to have a very good chance to see some more storms today, all right? We've got ourselves a marginal risk of severe weather for portions of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, a sliver of northwestern Indiana, and eastern as well as central Iowa here, so we'll watch out for that. Previous to the stream here, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning near the Monticello area, but anyway, that has now expired. So again, the main storm that we're watching here is near Detroit. We do have a report of flooding with this storm as well that comes out of the Clawson area. Spot a report of flooding on Interstate 75 and 14 Mile Road. So if you're out here, prepare for a flash flood warning. It can't be ruled out as this storm is producing very heavy rainfall. Really not too much hail, but again, the rain's going to be the big threat here. If we take a look at the vertically integrated liquid, we can see that there's not a huge signature. That's because for the most part, it's going to be small to medium-sized hail, but perhaps some very heavy rainfall could cause some flooding issues, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull up stream chat. So if anybody has any questions about their location, feel free to leave those down below. I'll try to answer them accurately and honestly. I did just post a YouTube short about the storms in my area, so if you want to check that after the stream, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah. What's up, Kevin? Tomorrow will be a mess for storms in general. Yeah, we do actually have a marginal risk of severe weather for portions of the Ohio Valley back up towards the Finger Lakes, and then we've also got a marginal risk in the southwest and a marginal risk in the northwest, right? The main threat, once again, is going to be this area out here in the Ohio Valley where we can't rule out some damaging winds, maybe some isolated hail. Tornadoes are not a huge threat for tomorrow, but we can't rule out an isolated brief one. And the NATOcast AI forecasting tornado tool actually does have a 2% risk out for tornadoes for portions of Louisiana, so we'll see if the SPC does anything about that. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with tomorrow. And then on Thursday, right now, we don't have any risk for severe weather, but I do think they'll probably add a marginal risk somewhere in this general area. I know this is a huge circle. Not everybody in here is going to see that marginal risk, but I think it'll be somewhere in there across parts of the Ohio, Tennessee, and Mississippi valleys, and maybe as far east as the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast. So watch out for that. But yeah. Let's turn back on the day one outlook here. Let's check out some of these storms here in Iowa. These are starting to sweep into portions of northern Illinois. Again, don't be surprised if any one of these goes severe. Again, we've already had one do that, at least one do that, I know, but possibly even more. So we'll see what happens with that. Can start to see the rain curtains on our Detroit cam with that severe thunderstorm. Again, right now that storm is near Warren and Clinton Township. If we look at the velocities, we can definitely see some form of damaging winds, especially closer to Warren and East Point, so don't be surprised if you see some tree limbs get knocked down or stuff like that. And in fact, I think we're probably going to see quite a bit of that activity here on this camera. We'll definitely see some of those winds sweep through. We could actually go ahead and bring up the wind speed measurement tool here as well on the left-hand side of your screen. So we'll go ahead and do that. So right now the winds aren't anything too intense. We're talking about gusts, around 10 miles an hour right now. And again, that's on the northeast side of Detroit where that camera comes from. Again, we are talking about the far northern Detroit suburbs here. If you're actually in Detroit, you may not see a drop of rain. But we're concerned about areas to the north of you, in between Detroit and the Macomb Township area. So, again, we'll watch that. Ohio has seen some strong to severe storms today. We've had I know at least one severe warning out here get triggered with kind of a big line of storms that we have here now sweeping through the eastern central portions of Ohio. We had several severe warnings this morning down in Alabama. We had one for the Phil Campbell area, actually. But yeah. Actually, we have 125.3 Cape tomorrow near that NATOcast 2%. Yeah, that's... so basically what's going to happen is we're going to see, again, our typical pop-up showers and storms develop down here in the southeast. That's nothing crazy. But we do have just enough Cape to potentially warrant a couple of tornado warnings, perhaps. So again, we'll see if the SBC does anything about that. But as of right now, we don't have a risk down there. But yeah, there's a good chance that we'll be live tomorrow as well, because again, we have another triple marginal risk. But so I have an update here. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Warren, Sterling Heights, and St. Clair Shores until 5 p.m. Eastern. The warning has been condensed, so it is now only for southern portions of Macomb County here. It no longer includes any of whatever the other county was that we were talking about. I don't quite remember, but yeah. So again, watching these storms here in the Midwest as they progress eastward towards northern Illinois. Our monsoon type event down here in the desert southwest is going to really get going later this evening, but we do already have some thunder showers and maybe some isolated thunderstorms out there in portions of California. Which, by the way, it is absolutely baking down there. If we turn on our excessive heat warnings, let's see here. Excessive heat warnings, we can see that we have them all up here for portions of the desert southwest. It's brutal. It is brutal heat. We are talking about heat index values, or sorry, not even heat index values, temperatures of 120 to 125 degrees in Death Valley, which is the second hottest place on the planet, the hottest place in North America, so that's not too surprising. But usually we have to wait till later in the year to see temperatures like this in this area, but jeez. In fact, it's so hot out in this area that I believe wasps and bees actually don't like it this hot. They want it cooler. What's up, Goose Man? Let's see here. What temperature do wasps die? Well, that's the low temperature. Yeah, temperatures over 114 degrees may be enough to kill off hornets and yellow jackets if they are exposed to such extreme heat for extended periods of time. So, it's crazy. It is so hot out here that even the, those nasty creatures that like that kind of heat are getting fried. I call them nasty creatures because they are mean fellows. So let's get a checkup on some of these storms here in eastern Illinois. Just kind of chugging along there again with some heavy rainfall. Flash flooding will be a problem tomorrow. Yeah, that's actually pretty true. If we take a look at the excessive rainfall outlook for tomorrow, we do have a slight risk of flash flooding for portions of the southeast, going out for portions of eastern Alabama back into southern portions of North Carolina. So we'll have to watch out for that. We also have a secondary risk up here in portions of the Great Lakes region, and then we have a tertiary risk out here in the desert southwest. And flash flooding is actually going to be a pretty big problem today as well for some spots. If we turn on the day 1 outlook, it actually looks pretty similar to the day 2 one. We've got a couple of slight risks. We got one down in Dixie Alley. We've got another one in the mid-Atlantic region back down into the southeast. We got a risk up here in the Midwest. Once again, we got our southwest risk for that monsoon type event. By the way, gusts on our Detroit camera are starting to pick up. You can see it shaking very impressively, in fact. And we are measuring gusts now, close to 30 miles an hour. So we'll see what happens there again. The storm is coming in. And we could see things pick up as high as 60 miles an hour. So we'll see what happens there. Yes, Houston is in that slight risk of flash flooding. But we got to watch this. Wow, it's getting windy. See the trees kind of shaking around a little bit there. Again, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning right now. The special weather statement behind it just expired. But this is going to be in effect for the next half hour here, again, for the greater northern portions of the Detroit suburbs. Alright, we're getting gusty. Again, 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts right now, way out ahead of this thing. It actually looks like the worst of the wind will stay to the north of this, kind of along Interstate 94 there. So if you know anybody that might be traveling on Interstate 94 in or around Detroit, make sure to let them know what's going on here. Because, whenever you got heavy rain, hail, and damaging wind gusts, traveling on the interstate, or, just traveling at all is an absolute nightmare. But especially whenever you got semis that are about to tip, I know it can be nerve-wracking. So yeah. Anyway, if we take a look at the vertically integrated liquid signature now, we do see a bit bigger of a signature south of Clinton Township. So again, that's, as of 9 minutes ago, but it's probably even larger now. So we kind of are, seeing maybe some of that quarter-sized hail fall in this area here. At this point, it'd be north of St. Clair Shores, near Harrison Township and St. Clair Haven, or approaching that area anyway. So we'll keep a watch of this. Wow, that camera's really shaking good. So again, that gust measurement tracker is still going up. Again, we are getting close to 30 mile an hour winds now. Going east-southeast. Clusters of storms tomorrow could be expected in the northeast based on HRRR-18Z. I've not looked at the newest run of the HRRR. Let's kind of check things out. But the SPC does have a marginal risk out for portions of New York and Pennsylvania. Just depends on what you consider the northeast. But let's check out the HRRR here. So the HRRR is saying that obviously today we got our showers and thunderstorms out there. That kind of happens all up and down the East Coast during this time of year. But as we go into tomorrow, even as early as tomorrow morning, we can expect some strong to severe storms, maybe in northern PA and into portions of New York. 9, 10 a.m., those kind of continue all the way into the afternoon time hours, where by noon we could be dealing with a large hail risk and a damaging wind risk for portions of upstate New York near the Finger Lakes. So we'll have to watch out for that. And that'll continue kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m. even, it looks like here, with also some extremely powerful storms here in between Ottawa and Montreal, which is interesting. So watch out for that, obviously. We will, again, probably have ourselves a live stream on our hands tomorrow. I haven't been live for the past couple days. I was taking a break because we're finally out of that super active period of severe weather. Was ready for a break, and I got it, so we're back here again. And that's why there hasn't been much content recently, is just because the weather's been quite dead over the past couple of days. That's usually what happens in the summer. We've got our monsoons, we've got our pop-up storms in the southeast, but usually outside of that, we don't see normally too big of a severe weather threat. So, anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to go live today because we do have ourselves a decent risk here for some severe storms and maybe even some land spouts in the Midwest. So we'll watch that. Let's see here, kind of the checkups on some of these storms in my neck of the woods. Again, we've got some lightning as well as some heavy rain. So if any, of my friends or family are watching this here, we can expect some brief pockets of heavy rain as well as some lightning to come into the area relatively soon. I was actually thinking about making a channel totally dedicated to central Illinois weather. Just pulled a marginal tornado sounding tomorrow in Alabama. Yeah, again, NATOcast has us at a 2% down there as of their most recent update. So, again, we're just chilling here right now with this one severe warning, really. But, gotta keep watching it. What's up, Sonja? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. There's little to no curvature, but temperatures and dew points 85, 77. Yeah, that's kind of just in general. Once again, that's why we get those pop-up showers and storms, is because obviously down there in the deep south, the dew points and the temperatures are just incredibly high. So, and we got our storm here in eastern Michigan to watch. Again, right now the gusts aren't really picking up too highly here on our northeast Detroit camera. But again, we're kind of south of where most of the damaging winds would be anyway. And the storm's not quite here yet, so we'll give it time to pick up. But there definitely are some damaging winds north of the St. Clair Shores area along Interstate 94 once again, so we'll look out for that. So deep moisture will provide flash flooding mostly. Yeah, again, we do have that slight risk of excessive rainfall tomorrow. But outside of that, and maybe an isolated tornado risk, damaging wind risk, shouldn't be anything too crazy. Again, these storms are really going to have a pretty high flash flooding threat actually here. We'll probably see some flash flood warnings get issued for parts of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and eastern Iowa over the next few hours as these storms... There's going to be areas that get hit with multiple of these storms, and even one of these storms is producing heavy enough rainfall to really cause some pretty serious flash flooding, it looks like. But, it's pronounced like if there was a Y instead of a J. Okay, so Sonia. Alright. So keep watch of this storm here. Not seeing any sort of crazy amount of lightning activity with this, but there is some. But that may be a sign of a downward trend here with this storm. But it's bowing out pretty hard. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if its last moments here in the United States cause some pretty serious destruction for extreme eastern portions of Michigan here, again, north of Detroit. I mean, not destruction, but, you know, typical wind damage. Again, our Ohio storms are mainly just going to be a damaging wind and large hail threat. Again, if you want to look at the storm at any time in Michigan, just look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen here, or in your own Radar Omega app, you should be able to pull up this live camera here. Again, available on iOS and Android. Not a sponsor, just a great app. Maybe one day. I don't know, they do sponsor a lot of the bigger weather channels. That'd be kind of an awesome sponsorship to have. Radar Omega, if you're listening to this. Alrighty. So again, still watching for that damaging wind threat here to the northeast of Detroit. Again, maybe some isolated large hail, but especially heavy rain's a pretty big threat. Again, this did cause some flooding close to Interstate 75. I think I called it Interstate 95 earlier. That's my bad. If I did do that. Let's go ahead and turn off our excessive heat warnings. Gusts are picking up. On our measurements here, see we're getting close to 30 miles an hour again with that storm. Oh, saw some pretty impressive lightning there. But, again, nothing too wild with that storm in that area. Again, a lot of the action's probably just the north of where we're watching here on our camera. Wow. Wow, that's shaking. Jeez Louise. So, again, this is where we're seeing that data from. There's another big lightning strike in the right-hand corner of the screen. This is where we're seeing that all that data from, is right there. That's where our camera is. So that's where we're getting these wind measurements from. That's where we're seeing this feed from here. And on the northeast side of Detroit is where our camera is right now. So, let's see here. I don't see any other storms that are too concerning other than the ones that I've been pointing out. So if there are already more, just, let me know. Would be greatly appreciated. Alrighty. Today would probably not be a very good day for any activities on Lake Michigan. Especially on the Wisconsin side. But, you do you. So again, some more of these storms here in southeast Illinois. Again, I just keep coming back to them here just to watch what's going on close to home. Have I ever used Pivotal Weather? Yes. Yeah, I use it quite a bit. I don't use it in my forecast because my forecast, Pivotal Weather, a lot of the tools I use on there are more in-depth tools, like CAPE, and sometimes I use it to look at, like, the significant tornado parameter, but I don't really go into those on my weather forecast. I have used Pivotal Weather a few times on this channel, but, yeah, I do use that in my free time. Very handy-dandy website. Alrighty. Looks like we got a pretty significant gust front here. I couldn't tell if this is a gust front or a boundary, but this is definitely a big old gust front here, so expect some gusty winds if you're on the north side of Des Moines in the next few minutes. This is kind of probably the gust front's peak intensity here. Typhoon set to hit Taiwan, very true. I called it Taiwan. Yes, it is expected to hit Taiwan here. Typhoon Gamey. If this was a hurricane, we'd be talking about Category 3, 4 strength. Category 4 strength, it looks like. I haven't been watching it too much because obviously we don't really cover the Pacific on this channel. We did kind of last year, but this year we haven't really been. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now on the eastern side of Ames, Iowa here. This is for Roland, McCallsburg, and Ziering, as well as Colo. This is to the east of Nevada. This is an area that had a very strong tornado a couple of months ago during the big Iowa outbreak. But yeah, this is including portions of Highway 30, so if you're in this area, make sure you're getting indoors immediately. You meant the gusts could be? Yeah, I know what you meant. But yeah, this one little baby storm here managed to prompt a severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service for quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. Yeah, there's a very famous video of the Nevada tornado where the truck gets flipped. I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about. Incredibly famous video. This is actually a pretty big hailstorm here near Neoga. Again, just to go back closer to home here, we may see that get a special weather statement or something. This is an area that doesn't even have a general thunderstorm risk, and I'm not quite too sure why. They just decided to cut out this very random section out of the general thunder risk. And again, I have no idea why. Because we are seeing thunderstorms out here for sure. Just as much as we are in the general thunder risk. So, yeah, we'll see if that gets a special weather statement or something. That might be kind of fun. Yeah, the truck flipping over. I didn't see it live because I believe I wasn't streaming while it happened because I was resting after the Greenfield tornado. I didn't see it happen live, but man, I saw the tornado on the radar live, but I didn't see it the video. But that was insane. If I saw that live, I would have been freaking out. I would have been going live. Was that an EF3 or an EF2? I don't remember, but it was a very strong tornado, very strong. Not quite as strong as the Greenfield one, though. Not nearly as strong. By the way, do you guys like the Greenfield documentary? I'm thinking about doing more. Obviously, I did the community post. The next one that you guys want to see is Elkhorn. I know there were a lot of votes for Barnsdall, and if you really want Barnsdall to win, vote for it in the next one. But it looks like our next documentary will be Elkhorn if you want me to keep doing these. So I don't know, there are streamers live. All of them were freaking out, even the streamer himself. Is that Max Velocity that you saw it on? Because I think Max Velocity was like one of the only ones that had it up on a stream live. But yeah, again, we'll watch this hailstorm here. If we look at the vertically integrated liquid signatures, we can see a little baby signature. They're approaching Paradise and Neoga, also getting close to Mattoon, Charleston. So again, anybody watching closer to home here, watch out for that little cell there. It looks to be weakening on the most recent radar scan, though, so that's good news. Let's check out our Detroit storm. It's been a minute since we looked at it. Again, starting to exit the United States here. So, that severe warning will likely be allowed to expire in 13 minutes. It might even be removed before then. We'll see. But we got to keep watch of these Iowa storms here. We did actually have a couple of water spouts out there today off the coast of South Carolina, near Charleston and Beaufort. This was earlier this morning at 8 a.m. and 7:45. It could have been, I don't think it was the same water spout. But it could have been. But I don't think so. There's no way it was, actually. So again, our main pocket of damaging winds now over Anchor Bay. Evan Freiberger, okay. I think we're gonna start wrapping things up here soon, because we don't have that much going on. But, again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back here once more tomorrow. Again, make sure to check out my new Storm short that I did. We'll take one last look here at the NAM. Kind of talk about what we're going to be seeing over the next few days. So, again, this is around right now. Again, we got some of that convection down there in the deep south. May prompt a couple of severe warnings. We have a couple of special weather statements for some of those storms in Alabama right now. But by 5, 6, 7 p.m., again, we'll continue to see some more of those storms in eastern Iowa and maybe northern Illinois as well become strong to severe. Also watch for this big line of storms here to potentially develop across portions of the southeast. And again, our monsoon type event there is going to be, again, continuing into the evening time hours. By 1 a.m. here, we're dealing again with that line of storms kind of starting to get out of the United States here, but along eastern portions of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Also some storms sweeping through northern and central Illinois. And as we go later into tonight, in the very late overnight hours into tomorrow morning here around 9 a.m., start to see some more storms in the deep south. But yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in to this live stream. I really do appreciate it.